All right, so we're in here on Trump and the GE on the shock exchange, of course, and this is Key Bridge faces delays, billions in cost overruns. As you know, the Baltimore Key Bridge collapsed after a ship crashed into it a couple years ago, back in 2024, and that's a key economic engine for the East Coast. I said it was a black swan event because there's so many supplies go to that Baltimore port. It's a key port for the East Coast, particularly Mid-Atlantic states. Goods and services, auto parts, shipments of auto parts go to that port. I thought it would hurt the economy. It definitely hurt Baltimore, the local economy, and so the Baltimore Maryland Governor Westmore and the Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott. They have a tall order of rebuilding that bridge, and that's sort of job one for the governor. And this reports from Fox Baltimore that the bridge is now running through delays. It says a high stakes reset of the Francis Scott Key Bridge rebuild is raising fresh doubts about when and at what cost the project will be completed after Maryland officials abruptly cut ties with a major contractor and declined to provide details about what went wrong. So that's not unusual to have disputes with a contractor, whether it's cost overruns or what have you. You get to switch contractors. That's not unusual. It's just that getting that bridge rebuilt is job one for the governor. Because it's so important to Baltimore and to the country. It's a decision to drop Kiewit Infrastructure Company from phase 2 of the multi-billion-dollar rebuild marks a critical turning point for a project once touted by Governor Westmore as the fastest-moving large infrastructure project in the United States. So he's been touting the bridge as fast-moving, whatever that means. Like he's on top of it. It says now with projected costs climbing from $1.8 billion to at least $5.2 billion. So with $3 billion cost overruns. A completion date slipping from 2018 to as late as 2030, and officials offering limited transparency on the next step. Both lawmakers and residents say confidence in the state's handling the rebuild is eroding. This also comes as more than the Maryland General Assembly are facing multi-billion-dollar deficits during the next handful of years, with a $3 billion deficit estimated next fiscal year. Maryland's facing cost overruns, and there's no way. I don't think there's no way that Maryland can get the bridge built by itself. They need government support, if not. At least 90%, if not 100%. The government should fund it because it's not just key for Baltimore; it's key for the entire East Coast, particularly in Mid-Atlantic states, as far as the economy is concerned. And a lot of back and forth with the governor and President Trump. President Trump has talked about safety issues, crime in different cities such as Baltimore, Washington D.C., Detroit, Memphis, Tennessee. We talked about in Los Angeles, particularly talk about bringing troops to those areas. He's also already brought troops to Memphis and Washington D.C. The governor said he's not bringing troops to Baltimore. He's not going to let it happen. The National Guard to come to Baltimore has to come through him. He's not going to approve it. Okay. He's also has some back and forth with the president. President said he's not presidential timber. He may be a presidential candidate, and the governor's been on TV a lot, making national appearances, so he's raised his national profile. However, he still needs money for the bridge. He needs money for the bridge. And the bridge has facing cost overruns. He has to go to the federal government, has to go to Trump. So I don't know how politically astute it is to say that we're not going to bring the National Guard to Baltimore if it's already obvious, and then to call Trump out and antagonize the president and go back and forth with the president when you need money from the federal government to rebuild the bridge. Maryland's going to get the money, but it could be delays in getting the money. So anyway, making a long story short, that's job one for the governor, not raise his national profile. So more to come on this Key Bridge, and more to come on the back and forth with the governor and the president to see how much of the cost overruns the government's going to fund and when. So that's the latest. That's Trump and the GE. Key Bridge faces delays, billions in cost overruns. Thank you.